I believe at this time we're going to have a weapons demonstration from some of our Choctaw Nation employees. I see them making their way over here. Have you enjoyed this afternoon so far? We certainly enjoy being here again and being able to share our culture and our history with you. I believe I see Mr. Les Williston, part of our cultural department, coming over to share some knowledge and wisdom with you about our Choctaw weaponry. If you would give him a big round of applause.
Hello. My name is Les, and what I do is traditional native weaponry. Now, one of the first weapons, well, first let me give you a little history on Choctaw people and some village life. Way back in the ancient times, there had villages scattered out all through Choctaw territory, which was anywhere from western Alabama through Mississippi, up into Tennessee, and all the way down through Louisiana. A lot of those tribes, there are many different tribes now. Got a lot of different names, anything like Miccosukee, Muskogee Creeks, the Choctaw, we were once called Ponchafalaya, which means long hair, which one of the tribes in the southeast where men grew our hair long. And the Chittimachas, the Tainsas, there's a lot of different tribes down through there, and they're still there, and they still go by different names. But at one time, we were all one people. That's why our languages are so similar. Now, but back then, even if you had a tribe living next to you that weren't part of your people, it was a big complicated deal to go to war with them, because go to war, you get warriors that got killed, and to go to war, you had to go through the heads of the clans to get the permission to go to war. And who were they? They were the grandmothers, the mothers of the clans. They were the leaders of the clans. And they held a lot of political power within a village system. Anything that happens with people coming in from the outside, that's like foreign affairs, that's what the warriors and the peace chiefs and the war chiefs would handle. Those are the kind of decisions that men would handle. But anything domestic, anything going on around that village was handled by the heads of the clans. And anytime there was a council, when you had to go to war, you had a bank of grandmothers and stuff sitting over here who had a lot of voice in whether or not you went to war. Now, if you're going to go to war, you got to take a bunch of warriors with you. And who are your warriors? That's their grandbabies. That's their grandma sitting over there. And grandma says, no, you ain't taking my baby to war. You ain't going to war. So a lot of disputes and things between villages in the area were handled over a stickball game. Instead of going to a war where a lot of people got killed, maybe a couple got killed in a stickball game, but that's better than hundreds and hundreds getting killed in an actual war. And even if there was a war, you know why there's still so many tribes all through the southeast? That's because in our culture, in the culture of our skin, the blood that runs through our veins, life is sacred. And you didn't go out there and try to wipe out the other tribe. You didn't want to wipe them all out. And the reason for that is these are permanent tribes in the southeast. Those are permanent territories. We had permanent villages right next to another village who'd been there 1,000 years too. You knew the warriors. The warriors in your village knew the warriors in the other village. Probably played together as kids, knew each other's grandmothers and grandparents, ate at their homes, went fishing together, hunting together, went on war parties together. But that was a big decision to go to war. But if we did, we had the weaponry to do it. Now, way back in a long time ago, there were some big woolly critters running around. They call the woolly mammoths or mastodons, big giant critters. Well, one of the first weapons ever devised in this world would have been an atlatl. Now this is a little different of an atlatl than most people will see. Most people see a piece of wood cut out of a board or a plank shaped into an atlatl with a point on it to throw the spear. This one's actually the spine bone of a buffalo. And yes, he was delicious. So you take your spear, I put a point of a deer antler right here into this buffalo spine bone. That deer was delicious too. You put your spear right there on that little point, like that, and you rear it back and you sling it, and sling it hard. And the more you throw an atlatl, it's like throwing a baseball. The more accurate you'll get. You're throwing your own atlatl, and you're throwing your own spears, and you make your own spears a certain way every time. You get accurate after a couple thousand throws. Because my shoulder ain't gonna hold up for no couple thousand throws, so it ain't gonna be that accurate. But anyway, this is where you sling it. Let it fly. Follow through. And practice that, and that's how you'll throw an atlatl. Now, one of these days, that electricity gonna go off. It ain't gonna come back on. So y'all better remember how to make one of these. Now, if I wanted something to fly, and I'm hunting, or going to war, or having a battle with somebody, you want to use one of these. This is a bow and arrow. This is a wooden shaft bow. It's got a stone point, wild turkey feathers for fletching. This bow is made out of bodark, one of our favorite woods used to make a bow. Reason for that is about one of the hardest wood there is in this country. The speed of the arrow, the strength of the bow depends on the width and the thickness of the limbs here. And the way you make this thing is you cut it out of a tree, about that big around, or a little smaller, and about this tall. And that's about as heavy as I can carry out of the woods. You know, if you can carry a great big one, you carry it out of there. I'll be proud of you. Now they're real heavy. This bodark heavy wood. Now, then you split that log into some staves. About that big around, you split it in about 3 or 4 times, get about 6 pieces out of it. Then you shave it to one growth ring, one tree ring. The entire face of this bow has to be one growth ring showing. Don't carve through that growth ring, because that's where you're weakening it. That's where it's gonna break if you do that. If you do that, you gotta start over again at the top, shave it down to the next growth ring. And then you shave the bellies of the bow to get one side to bend exactly like the other side. You want both sides to be equal in strength. That's what's gonna shoot straight, it's having equal strength. If one side's strong, this one's stronger than this one, the arrow will shoot straight down, shoot down. This is an arrow, like I said, wild turkey feathers. One of our favorite materials to make an arrow shaft out of would be river cane. Wood arrows tend to warp back into their original shape. River cane, once you heat it up over a flame and hand straighten it, will hold its shape for a long time, almost forever. But this is bodark. You also use hickory, mulberry, ash. Use a lot of different hardwoods of work. But black locust, hickory, and bodark's my favorite type of wood to use. Now, if you got hand-to-hand combat, one of your favorite weapons would be a war club. A war club like this. Like this is a knot of a bodark tree. This is a limb right here, and that means it's real stout. It's pretty stout. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to break. You bust somebody in the kneecap, you incapacitate them. I don't know about any of y'all, but any of y'all ever hit your knee on a trailer hitch? I have. I'll tell you, I about sat down and cried like a baby. But you hit that knee, shin with that, and you've done some damage. That guy ain't gonna be thinking about nothing else but that kneecap for a little while. You can sure bust somebody's elbow, head, This will leave a dent or a good knot. Or tomahawk. Y'all know what tomahawks are. You've seen them on TV all your life. It's a throwing axe, hatchet, whatever, a battle axe. That's a good head splitter. Now, one of our favorite, young people's favorite hunting weapons would be the bow gun, made out of river cane. This river cane is pretty much hollow, except for each one of these joints. At each one of these joints, you want to burn through that, pushing burning coals through it with a smaller cane, smooth it out on the inside. You can also cut it and split it all the way down and carve it out, but then you'd have to glue it all back together. But you're better off just burning it right out. But first, before you do that, you see these burn marks? That's where I straightened it. It takes a while to straighten these. And this is the way you shoot it. You put your dart in there, stick it just inside there, make sure it's loose, and suck some air in, hold it for a second, then a solid thrust of air, it'll shoot that dart out. Just like that. That concludes my weapons demonstration, and I'll be talking to you in here in a minute. We're going to do a stickball thing with some of the guys that are going to come out and exhibit some stickball skills. Thank you very much. As I was telling you about stickball, little brother of war is what it's commonly referred to all through the South. That's because it's in lieu of war that a lot of disputes were settled. Now we have a couple of sticks, 2 sticks. Each team has each guy has 2 sticks. You pick up that ball, you catch it with your sticks, throw it, shoot with it, snatch it up off the ground. Your main skills will be picking that ball up fast as you can. Takes a lot of practice. Takes a little more practice. Oh, he plays defense. But you pick that ball up with both sticks. You got 30 players on the field, 10 guards, 10 shooters, and 10 center, or basically. And the other team's got 10 of each also. So that means there's 60 players on the field. The goals are 3.5 inch by 3.5 inch square, 12 feet tall, one at each end of a football field. So that's 300 feet apart. And our team is called Tushkahoma. Means Red Warrior in Choctaw. That's the Red Warrior Society. Came from the east into Oklahoma a long time ago. Now, when you hit the pole at the end of that field, that's 1 point. You throw that ball, or you can run up there and tag the pole with the ball in the sticks. And that would be the hard way. All right. They're going into the scrum. We're going to go fight for the sticks. For the ball. There it goes. There it goes. Haven't got away. Yeah. Little sticks are called capucha. Capucha. Ball's called a toa. Play tole or stipole. That good? That good? Okay, that's our stickball demonstration. We thank you very much. Thanks for JJ and Katie Tom. Thank you.